Why, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to an all-new episode of SCNS Live, the super cool nerd show. My name is Kat. I don't do this show by myself because a group of us narrowly won the poll. Anyway, to my left.
Sorry, did not get that for a second.
Right.
Hello.
You're right.
I'm Cass. I'm her little sister.
We're sisters.
Feel like we don't talk about that enough.
And our third sister.
Might as well be.
Hi, I'm Cara. That's not how I actually talk, sorry.
No, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would not be on the show.
No.
The board's working almost as hard as the Ben Nye makeup we use is, who's that? Who's that?
Who is that?
Who is that?
I'm Batman.
That
Actually, looks
was
like
awesome. I don't know. That was dope.
I can't wait to
This thing
rewatch
was like
the
in
show.
Also, Jason, can you please explain to me why the words Ben Nye makeup is important?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Ben Nye is high quality theatrical makeup.
What did I knock down?
Unfortunately,
You did knock anything down.
My dignity.
Unfortunately, has not hired us, but we remain friends of
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Come sponsor our D&D campaign. You kind of already are.
If you sponsor our D&D campaign, Ben Nye, then I promise you all of us will come in wearing makeup for our characters.
No. No.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want to be
see
painted
him.
bright
Yeah.
green?
With a cool muzzle to make you look like a dragon.
Exactly. We could
Well-
put that the stuff on your forehead. Not the silicone. What is it?
I kind of do want
Spirit
to
gum
paint it.
something for like
Yeah.
a pronounced forehead.
Well, not just that, but like the snout for the dragon too, with fangs.
If all else fails, Ben Nye, we will
All right, well, it's
like
starting to
staple
sound
a printout to a paper plate and hold it in front of him the whole time.
better. So, did anyone see the trailer today for the Eternals? Because I can explain why I'm so over today. Did anyone watch the trailer for
Why
Eternals?
don't you start us out? What is this super cool news of some sort?
Is this
Nerd
news?
It was
Is
it
this
was
nerd
Play
news,
the
Jason?
intro.
Play the intro,
I'm not-
Jason.
no,
You have
I'm
to
not-
play the
this is
intro,
discussion
Jason.
Part. I want to talk about this because people are mad at me, and I'm okay. Look, I am not excited at all for this Marvel movie
Why?
because it's the Eternals. Look, I love Jack Kirby, but this is one of Jack's weakest creations ever. They've never maintained a good comic.
I just have a very important question because I don't know who the Eternals are.
I'm not surprised.
Is this the one that Stingray Man is from?
No.
That was a
I
genuine
think
question,
it's
I
funny
promise.
that he's not excited, but none of us even saw the trailer. So, like, who's the real
the
not
Eternals
excited
are like
one?
the race that Thanos comes from, and they're like super powerful, but they've also never maintained a consistent comic. So when this was announced, I was kind of like, I don't care. And after the first teaser trailer, I still don't care. And now the final trailer. So the premise is they have been here for centuries and just been lazing around doing
7,000
nothing.
years.
Huh?
7,000 years.
Whatever. I don't care. They've done
that
absolutely
centuries?
nothing.
It's not
They have
centuries.
just they watched the blink happen.
That's because Mr. Six Eye Face told them not to.
I don't care.
Spoilers.
I have no idea.
These are like the Jeff Bezos of freaking heroes out here.
Oh my god.
Awful. And the more that I watch the trailers, the more I actually actively start to dislike this movie. Like I was talking to Nate about it. He's like, I don't care that you're not excited for. I'm not only not excited. Like they showed them in their full costumes, which look very regal and very royal, which pisses me off more.
It does take some balls to show up right now and be like, "We're here now."
It's like,
Like,
where have you
been?
been? I am starting to look. It's Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan,
Salma Hayek.
I love me some Selma, but
Salma.
I'm starting
Keeping it
to
tart.
actively hate every promo for this movie because we were not to get involved. Then get the
Then leave. The door's over there.
then
Can I ask you a
To
genuine
show
question,
up now
Jason?
and
What?
not in 2016.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why did you not feel this about Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel was out in space doing something. They were here on Earth.
That's genuinely
Really?
true. Is she's doing
To
a lot
quote
of
Billy
like,
Bob
planet
Thornton, it's a
alien-
big ass sky.
Well, and to quote her, like the same thing was happening everywhere, like in.
Mhm. And she was doing
like it makes sense to me
Okay.
why that, but they weren't doing anything.
They were just chilling.
They just watched
love this
Thanos
planet
do his
so much.
stuff.
Like, what's his name? Namanjali? Like, I was reading what the premise for his character is. He, while all this was happening, decided to become a Bollywood star.
Nanjiani.
Nanjiani.
Camille
sorry.
Nanjiani?
Camille Nanjiani. I can't...
That's what he got all ripped for.
But... So he's out here taking massive amounts of HGH for this. And his character basically was a Bollywood star while all this was going on. I am starting to actively hate these people.
You know what though? Bollywood does need some help because
Like,
their
on a
biggest
personal
star of
level,
all time murdered people, and
I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
am I alone in feeling that
subreddit drama.
these
Like,
people are
subscribe to it,
completely
love it forever.
worthless?
I go back
Everything
to
they can just it's gonna happen. I'm so over this movie, and I'm starting to hate it the more I think about it.
See, now I have to watch the trailer when the show's over because I
Yeah.
have to I want to be just as angry. as
At the
Jason.
same time, though, Marvel certainly hasn't misstepped with taking some bigger chances. Like recently, if they're putting out something that's not quite as formulaic, I will forgive them more than if they continue to put out the same story just told worse or slightly different. You know what I mean? So like, I'm casually interested, I guess. I'm not invested at all. But like, maybe.
I think that is a morally bad thing to do, and I think that might make for an interesting story. I will put out there that I haven't been excited about Marvel in a while. I think their TV shows are good, but like, I think most of their movies nowadays are just okay. I thought Thor Ragnarok was absolute crap. I did not like Endgame. I still haven't seen Black Widow because I don't care. So like, I guess I'm with you in that I don't care about this movie.
Well,
but that's
you're
not
also-
different for me.
But
You're
on-
also with me in that you'd be slightly more interested if it's less
If
formulaic.
it's different in
So,
some way.
Enough about my complaining about Eternals, though. I'll stop because in the same week I got What If Episode 2.
Yeah.
Should we all plug our ears? And you
I
could
mean,
just talk
if you
about
haven't
it.
seen it, go watch it. You can borrow whatever you need to because it's
No, we
basically
have the regular one.
we miss you, Chadwick.
That's why I haven't watched it, is
And
the
I-
thought makes me want to lie in a fetal position
It's-
and cry forever.
No. You won't do it while the episode's playing because it's that good. It was that good from start to finish. I was just happy hearing his voice and seeing all this. And then as soon as it ended and they did the dedication part, bam, tears. Just no. Oh yeah. It just made me miss him. He's going to be in a couple other episodes of What If. But it was like, this episode was like the world was a better place because he was alive. That's all I got from this.
See,
It's that good.
I
Like,
can't bring myself to avoid it because of that, like in any way.
I'm
because
making y'all sit down
No, I
after
know.
this show and watch it.
I
I'm
feel
going
like
to.
the best possible way to honor somebody's legacy who worked in things they were passionate about is to push through. I mean, I'm not you, but like in my own way, it's to push through sadness I feel in order to honor their work. So
I can only say that I got an immense amount of joy watching the episode. And if you haven't seen it, I ain't spoiling a damn thing. I'm gonna make y'all watch it. It's so good.
I
And
will
it just-
say, like, he didn't need to pass away to make me cry during his content, though. So I'm not sure how much worse that would be.
this one's gonna. Oh, it
like,
gets going.
Black
to
Panther had me bawling in like 2 or 3 different. One of them was because they shot in Busan, Korea, and I wanted to move there because I loved it.
But if you do anything this week, and I'm making y'all do it after the show. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You can't make
That
me
is
do-
my venting. I had to start on a venomous note and end on a high note because I hate Eternals. God, I love What
If
If.
Jason ever tries to make me do something, I'm gonna be like, "How much do you like Alabroth?" Just kidding. I'm kidding, and I
I
will
will
watch
set
it
the
this
D&D
week.
table literally on fire.
It's plastic. You could set the table cover.
No, I
quite
wouldn't
easily.
set anything on fire in this room.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to
Yeah.
put all
That
this
was
Yeah, go
that
for
was
it, Jason,
That
go
was
for
a
it.
toothless threat
because
right
I
there.
will stand outside going, "We don't need no water. Let the mother."
I'm pretty sure all the plastic in this room it would burn for 1,000 years too. So
And then your wife's ire would burn for 1,000 years more.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
we
then I'm
might
also a
Also,
torture.
like,
You
you,
could-
can't burn plastic without some like Chernobyl fumes coming out of it.
You could probably pay us all salary for a couple of years off the insurance payout.
Jason, I found how we're going to fund the studio.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I'm working on it. I didn't win the lottery this
Yeah.
week.
Anyway,
so,
while we discuss that and don't fall to pieces of the show, check out some super cool nerd news. Speaking of people who use their influence for good, no wait, what's the opposite of that?
Me.
Overwatch is potentially thinking about renaming one of their star characters. Why? Because he's named after a developer who it turns out is a giant douchebag.
Surprise!
The developer's name is Jesse McCree. You can wonder what the
I wonder which character.
Yeah.
It's a total mystery.
This one hurt.
I love his name, like, within the show or within the game, so it kind of sucks. But I found out this week as I was looking through some of the articles and stuff, there actually is canon about his name maybe not really being Jesse McCree. There's a throwaway line in the interactions, between characters where Sombra says something about, I've heard of you, but Jesse McCree, and he says, my name's not Joel, if that's what you're thinking, which is a reference probably to either Joel something in the canon who's a reporter who writes under a pseudonym, so nobody knows who he really is, but there are theories that he's McCree, or an old West Star IRL whose name I don't know, or potentially The Last of Us Joel.
Yeah.
Like, not really sure.
Very similar accent, similar vibes.
Yeah, like kind of a gritty, tough guy with tender spots feel to the whole thing. Anyway, so there's been some talk about, like, if they were going to rename him, do they have this story already written and who is it? But if not, fans have been kind of throwing out some of their own suggestions. There's one that I like probably the most. Somebody suggested that Mercer was a really good name for a cowboy, at least a last name. And I personally think that Matt Mercer has done a lot for nerds. And I think he's done a lot for nerds who are women. And I would kind of love to see a wholesome, like, change. Feels pretty healing. And if you like Critical Role, great. I like Critical Role. But if you don't, like, he's still out there getting new people to care about D&D and, you know, playing as a player with women DMs and just supporting good causes. So I would love to see, like, a Gary Mercer, something like that. But that's his McCree cosplay you see on the screen right now, because he is also an avid cosplayer. Mm-hmm. Did the best Geralt cosplay I've ever seen with homemade chain link armor.
Also one of the best Sephiroths that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sephiroth was, I think, one of his earlier, like...
He used to be
Struck.
mainly a cosplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got over a lot of his stuttering and his issues with his eating and weight.
Body dysmorphia.
Matt Mercer has a stutter.
He had a stutter.
Yeah.
Years
Wow.
of speech therapy.
He also still has body dysmorphia. It's one of the reasons you see him wear like cardigans a lot,
And vests.
and his leather bracelets. That helps him.
But yeah, just overall, just a wholesome addition to the nerd community. Would
There's
love
very
to see
little
him
that
honored.
we don't know about Matt Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is, like, I don't follow him like that, but it comes up. I do like his DMing. We tried to interview him a few years ago at a con, and we weren't aware of how widespread Critical Role fandom was, and there was a line for hours and hours, and he wasn't even there yet. Like, anyway, that's
we have the same birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
different years.
Yeah.
Well, every year, but like
he's when's your birthday? Every year.
every year.
Yeah. He's a little bit older than me.
I think he's older than me. That's what I got. What have you got?
On a completely different note, if you ever watched the TV show Schitt's Creek and thought, oh, it's interesting, I kind of like that motel. First of all, you're crazy. It's a terrible motel. But second, you can go to it now. It is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in the Lucky Rabbit, which is a kind of a nostalgia store. But you can go to basically the rooms that the Rose family shares. You can pose with Moira's wig wall, which is one of my favorite parts of the rooms. You can see David's shoes next to the little cabinet. And yeah, you can now go to the Rosebud Motel, formerly named, I think, the Schitt's Creek Motel. And it's just this absolutely pure, ridiculous show, and I didn't know that I could go to the motel. It's been, I think it is open at this moment, so
I'd love to
there
go
right now.
there. I don't want to stay there.
It's about 8 hours from Dallas, so not too bad.
Oh.
I wouldn't want to stay there.
I'm like,
It's a
why do
terrible,
you know
gross
that
motel.
already?
I wanted to look it up.
I'm gonna assume that the actual motel is probably a
Somewhat
little
cleaner.
a little bit cleaner, maybe. Hopefully.
Better be.
He had water dripping on his face in the second episode.
I mean, although their standards is part of what's so funny is their standards are quite a bit removed from normal people because
Yeah.
they're like other people have slept on these mattresses before and it's like it's a hotel.
That's how it goes.
Would you stay there, Jason?
I have no idea what this place is, honestly. I didn't watch the show. But yeah, I'd stay in a motel.
To be honest, I've stayed in some pretty seedy motels because I like to take cross-country drives by myself on the cheap. One time I stayed, I thought I'd booked a reservation for like a Motel 6 in LA, which Motel 6 is decent, okay. They're very cheap, but like it's okay. And I pulled in, I was like, this doesn't look like a Motel 6 at all, but I see the sign and I pulled in, I got checked in, there was like all this like had very patchouli and incense vibe and I was like, what is happening? And I went to my room and had like a whole wall of mirrors and the oldest bed I've ever seen, and I was like, what the crap is happening? And it turns out like the sign was there but the entrance was right behind it. I ended up paying for 2 nights at this garbage hotel that I stayed at that stole my money. Anyway,
I got rug burn on a motel floor from being dragged across it screaming 15 times in a row.
willingly.
I'm assuming this was for
It was first year.
Yeah, this story was just going in a very dark place. And I was
It's
like,
first year.
A lot like the short did.
Yeah,
And also kind of wandering off topic.
that's true.
You live, you learn, experience is good.
Anyway,
Don't say it's Super 8.
True.
we learned that one.
Yeah, we learned that one.
Or any hotel that allows smoking inside at all.
Oh, yeah.
That was all they had. It was 65 miles to the next one. And it was 3 a.m. I was tired.
Oh no, that's fair.
It sucked. I hated it. And there were semis parked across the parking lot. And semis turned off are creepy looking. Anyway,
true.
what have you got for us?
Well, something that's actually pretty interesting. So the Japanese company 8 Million has created a special service for feedback called Debate Plus LGBT. And it is specifically so that they can kind of have people survey their stuff before sending it out, specifically stuff that is LGBT related, from people that are allies and members of the community as well. They're it's kind of like they don't want to do bad. I don't know how best to like word that.
I think it's smart. Like, you can't hire everyone like on your staff all the time for everything.
Yeah.
But you can try and respond well to feedback. And if you can get that feedback ahead of time, like,
Yeah.
then you're in a better spot.
And what it is let's say someone or a production company wants to work with 8 Million. And they have a story they present their story, and then the Debate LGBT board will look it over essentially and kind of give them feedback on it if there's stuff that it may be insensitive. Because like Japan isn't the best with LGBT, a lot of people think they are because the yaoi and yuri industry is huge. That is because it makes money. It is not, like, it's not that it's banned in Japan or anything. Like, you won't get arrested if you're with your gay lover. But you're not going to be treated very well.
It's very different. Like,
Yeah.
society as a whole is crazy to see things that are such a blend of the very latest and some of the oldest stuff
Yeah.
that exists. But yeah, like, progressive in some way and not at all in other ways.
Exactly. But they will have two different ways that they conduct these feedbacks. One way is they're going to do surveys for those who would rather have like a wide net of info, so they'll send out a survey about it and gather the info that way. Or group interviews for those who want like to have discussions on a smaller scale to kind of like be more intimate with it. So there's like two options for it. They're also closely working with a famous YouTuber named Kazue-chan. He is gay and he is out about it. And his YouTube channel is dedicated to talking about being gay in Japan and those kind of LGBT issues in the country. So they have someone who's very knowledgeable on the topic working with them on this program.
That's really cool.
It's also very interesting because I assume we're going to go to like a place where more and more of that kind of thing happens, and that's good overall, but like it's like selecting jury if you're honestly trying to get non-biased. Like, how do you get the Tumblr
Yeah.
the Tumblr outraged person not to throw everyone else, and how do you understand that that's an outlier and you want to hear all opinions, but it doesn't mean you're going to respond by changing everything somebody doesn't like. I'm just interested to see what it looks like, how it goes, how they change.
Also, in addition, sorry, the Tumblr thing made me think about because my brain went Tumblr and then it went to the whole Blizzard thing and it just like went down a weird rabbit hole. They are also looking internally to make sure that their speech and how people treat each other is not inappropriate. So they are looking inward and working outward. So they're being very progressive with this. I'm very excited about it.
I'm excited as somebody who like is part of some marginalized groups and also just allies of others, like, and also who likes to make films. The more of that kind of feedback that we can have, the better, because like I want to cast extremely diversely, but I get concerned about like I can't write in the same voice as somebody who's black, for instance. So like the more help we can get for like the very small projects where it's just one writer and it's me, that kind of thing, then the better we could.
We've had hours and hours and hours of conversations talking about how we want to represent as many people as we can, and we want to tell their stories truthfully, but we have absolutely no idea how with some of them. And
like we have people we can ask, but at the same time, one person doesn't represent everyone. It can be very. You
don't want to put all the emotional burden of you writing somebody on this one person or a small group of your friends. You want to treat your friends like your friends. And
so more of this, please.
Yes, absolutely, more of this.
Third party, helpful,
to infinity.
Separate, like we send to and get the feedback in a way that makes sense and is actionable. Dope. I like it.
That's amazing. I'm writing it down.
What is it called one more time?
Debate Plus LGBT is the program. It's from the company 8 Million. I just need y'all to know though, like if you search that, you'll be able to find it like in the normal Google search, but if you look in the image searches, you will never find the logo. I had to like steal it because all I got were pictures of like presidential debates. That's all I got.
I like that we kicked off or bookended the conversation about how to be fair and equitable with like intellectual property theft. Like, that's the world we live in, folks. What are you gonna do? Jason, what are you thinking about besides Eternals this week?
And having a very
Quit biting me!
Sorry.
Don't tell him what to do.
This is she.
Don't tell her
You're
what
not
to
petting
do.
me. So, anyway,
Why aren't you
today
petting her?
is QuakeCon2021, an all-digital event that is just started happening today. And how do you begin QuakeCon? By announcing Quake Remastered for all platforms. So yes, we got the video today. I'm playing it right now. It still looks like old school Quake, and I'm okay with this. Honestly, give me this game on the cheap, I will play through it again. This was it. This was okay, that's it. You got it down. Go. Get off. Anyway. So yeah, kind of basic looking. It is a bit improved. Of course, you're not going to experience all the lag and stuff that you would have on your old dial-up computers as you tried to play Quake in the crappiest network format, but we got it done somehow.
No loading screen. No loading screen. Still 16 pixels.
It still looks like old school. And honestly, I don't think I would have wanted this game remastered. I mean, it's been remastered, but I wouldn't have wanted like
graphics
superly
No,
graphically
you want it
updated.
to not be blurry. You want it to update some of the mechanics of how it translates to like keyboards and controllers and stuff. But yeah, like some extra missions, some modifiers, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
I miss seeing the pixels move when you see flowing water.
It looks fantastic.
Like 4 shades of blue.
Well, it doesn't. I gotta admit, it doesn't look fantastic. It looks like they just kind of put a fresh coat of paint on Quake, and I'm surprisingly okay with that. Anyway, but yes, this is the 25th anniversary of QuakeCon. It's sad that we're having to do it this way. These people are always
so much fun.
Yeah, they're always very good to us.
Such weird
the schedule
content, like computer
is posted
builds and stuff.
If you go to QuakeCon.com or go over to the website at QuakeCon, you'll see the schedule for the next 3 days. We're going to get some information on Deathloop, which I'm really anxious for.
Still
something else
suspicious of that.
I
still
want to play it.
It also wouldn't be QuakeCon without something dealing with the Elder Scrolls, which we will be getting that. So just be prepared for that. It is going up until Saturday.
RPG booths and stuff that they always have. Ooh.
Saturday, I think 6:30 p.m. is the last one. Some announcements for Fallout 76, Skyrim, the 10th anniversary, which 10th anniversary of Skyrim, pretty cool. A couple of dev panels, but the Deathloop panel that they had today was very good. I'd recommend everybody go watch that because even though they pushed it back, they still got a lot of stuff to say about it, and it was they're making the best of what they can do right now. So
I'm curious because you can make that kind of game 2 ways, but I'm not sure if you can make it both at the same time. You can either make it for the 24-year-old dad or mom who has a newborn who gets to play for 2 hours a week, in which case the repetitive you don't have to worry about as much because it's interesting. But if you have to notice like minute differences and stuff, then you have to play it in big blocks or you're going to forget. And I'm kind of interested to see where they fall on that, because I don't usually like speedrun games with hours and hours a day. I usually play over longer periods of time. I'm curious. Could be really cool.
Oh, also, all of their panels are being broadcast on twitch.tv/Bethesda. So that's where you want to go to watch. It's very good. It's really disappointing. They're always really good to us.
Yeah.
Even the year they thought we weren't there and we were there for interviews.
Yeah.
That was funny though.
I was so mad, you guys.
This
This was my fault. Or the one, we had that interview. We had an interview with the creator of Doom Eternal.
And we were there.
And I had requested that interview and they gave it to me, but I misunderstood their email and thought they'd invited me to like a media thing. Anyway, still got to meet him, ask him the one question that had been referred to us on Twitter. He was very nice. He complimented my Blizzard cosplay. And I said, it's not yours. And he's like, I know who it is. Sorry.
I certainly miss all the people that we see there as well. But hopefully next year we'll be having QuakeCon in person. But don't just because it's online, don't not go over there. Go watch some of the panels. There's still some love there. And
get vaccinated, wear your mask, so we can have it live next year.
We did it already.
We've
done our part. Anyway.
You see, those that's what we did, and then the Delta variant appeared.
It's just that meme. My summer, and then
the Delta.
Yeah, my fall plan.
Oh, I saw one with Jason Todd and a crowbar.
That was probably for me. I'm sorry.
She showed that one to me last night when we were singing karaoke. And at first when I looked at it, I went, which Robin? And then I saw the crowbar. Oh. in my mind, which Robin? Never mind.
I know which Robin that is.
Which is why I was mad at you when I was like, oh.
So if you've been vaccinated, try and figure out how to stick your roommates and your vaccine hesitant
In the
roommates
sleep?
in their sleep.
Dark
Don't
night.
do that. I'm not advocating that. It would be
I
funny
am.
though. If you do it, take a video of it because I want to see what it looks like.
I'd be hunting people down like raptors in Jurassic Park. Just hiding in the bushes. See the barrel of the gun just come out.
Yeah, this is Elmer Fudd.
Have your parents over talk
I'll
about
work.
how there are bees everywhere in your apartment, and then when they're looking the other way,
Let's-
bee must have stung
Let's
you.
not say that too
Band-Aid.
much because people might actually look. I saw this on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a real thing that can happen.
Don't do
So-
anything illegal.
If they can say it on the White House, like, do this, then I don't think you could get me and them in trouble.
We're not
Don't do it.
We are not encouraging this behavior, though we will find it funny if it happens.
No,
Yeah.
Granted.
We discourage it, but video it because I want to see what it looks like. Make sure I didn't accidentally do it or something.
But anyway, kicking it back over to you, Kat.
Yeah. What else have I got? My notebooks are both closed. Is that a good sign?
Smooth.
Yeah.
It's not great, no.
That's how I roll. Let me look at my pictures. Oh yeah. So I researched that. I just didn't remember them. So I don't know if you guys know who John Delancey is. He hasn't been in a lot, but if you were a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, he played Q, and Q was like a god, basically part of the continuum. With a group of gods that were basically tricksters. They didn't call them out in like mythology or D&D terms, but chaotic tricksters. And he showed up to F with the Enterprise whenever he got bored, except for one time he showed up because he lost his powers. That was my favorite episode of The Next Generation ever, I think. Anyway, so he told Screen Rant that he just wrapped season 2 of Picard shooting, John Delancey as Q on season 2 of Picard. Now, I have lots of questions because like Q was a god, I mean, he did not age, so like what's your spin, what's your vibe, because we have a picture of him and he clearly looks older, which I'm glad because if they tried to make that just awkward.
Yeah. He also looks,
It
I
is
say,
Luke Skywalker.
really good.
Oh yeah.
Like,
He does. I was thinking earlier about that Picard lighting money though, because I've seen him in other like interviews and stuff. He's not quite that good, but like he does look good. He's aged really well.
He was also on Star Trek Lower Decks.
He was. I was going to bring that up. I was so happy when he showed up because
How could
like,
you forget his iconic role as Discord on My Little Pony, though?
I was thinking of Breaking Bad.
Wait, was that him?
Yes, that was him. That was John Delancey as Discord on My Little Pony.
Huh, I was sitting there wondering who that
Like,
was.
I'll admit, I've got a kid. I've watched a couple episodes of it, and I heard the voice and was like, "Wait a minute,
I've
hold
watched
up."
a couple episodes because in theory it's so interesting when they have like cadence and like anti-cadence and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And when I worked at the fruit stand, I sold an iPad to the person who like made this whole like con around it in Dallas. That's a big thing. Acon like was
Oh, I read it.
originally a big part of like My Little Pony stuff or something. Anyway, she was nutballs, but she was so fun. And yeah, they told me some of the stories. It's really interesting, but then I sat down to watch episodes and I haven't been. It's okay. If I had a kid who wanted to watch it, I'd watch it with them, I guess. But,
I don't know what you people are talking about. I'm aware that it exists. I've never watched any part of it.
It's cute.
yeah, like it's cute. It's not bad content. It's like
Yeah, I mean, there's worse things my kid could be watching. Okay,
it's higher in content if you're sitting down with Ari and Nora.
I get that.
it's got Tara Strong.
Sorry.
Oh, you're...
Yeah, it's one of the main characters, right?
She's like the she's like the
Yeah.
magic one with
Yeah.
the unicorn thing.
And
Twilight?
lots of other voice actors like
Purple.
pop up here and there, or regular actors. But yeah. Anyway, there are people there were fans who didn't love Q's run because like, why did he show up to mess with specifically the Enterprise and blah blah blah. My argument was like, you thought that the show had such a strong direction all the time that like episodic things were weird. Like yeah, it was a little cheesy sometimes if he shows up and he's like, "You're Robin Hood now." But I don't really care how the plot got started. It was fun to watch.
That's exactly what I would do if I was a trickster. I would find one particular thing and just mess with it.
To those fans, I'm mostly like, have you ever played Chaotic in D&D?
Yeah.
Because it's taxing to come up with reasons why sometimes, but you
And
just want to mess with people.
You do get obsessed with, like, one person doing one thing. Yeah.
Especially somebody who, like, when he lost all his powers, he said that, like, he asked them to bring him to the Enterprise because it was the only one who he thought might be kind to them. So, like, the idea of a trickster god, like, poking somebody to see how much they'll put up with is, like, pretty canon for the way trickster gods work.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited. I was not conflicted about Q. I love him as a character. I think he's a lot of fun. He's responsible for several of my favorite episodes, and he made Data laugh, and that was so funny. After Brent Spiner had finally frozen all his facial expressions just to, like, bust out laughing. If you've never seen the episode Deja Q, you should go see it.
I mean, the name alone, that's enough.
Yeah. I'm excited to see him back. I'm interested to see what the twist is or how they explain him being older or what's going on. Be interesting to see a more nuanced version, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have you got?
All right, so as we've mentioned in the past, Kat and I are sisters and roommates, and I have one thing to tell you. We have to get Apple Plus now.
I was going to check to see if I have it for today.
Yeah, their trailer came out today for a show called Foundation. It is an Isaac Asimov, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly? Asimov book, and it looks so cool. Okay, so, like, it's about a girl that finds a man that can predict the future using math, and that sounds really boring, but the man is Jared Harris, whom I adore. He was one of the leads in Chernobyl. He's Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes movies that came out over the past couple of years. He's been in Mad Men. Incredibly talented. It's also got Lee Pace, who's a wonderful 6'9". He's so tall.
Who?
Lee Pace. He's the pie maker from Pushing Daisies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
still
love Lee
alive? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I haven't seen him in a minute.
He's like 40.
Yeah, no, I just thought he died or
Okay.
something.
Anyways, that is coming out September 24th, 2021. So I went ahead and I just kind of looked up, so how is Apple TV doing? Ted Lasso has an 8.7 on IMDb and a 94% Rotten Tomatoes. The Morning Show, which is one of their other shows, has an 8.4 on IMDb and a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Little America has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, they're actually doing well, and I didn't really want to like Apple TV because, like, it's just another service, and you're like, oh, whatever. I gotta get it, man. They're doing really well.
I mean, like, so many people hate the iPhone but still have it because, like, they've tried anything else. And, like, I respect that if you want an open garden system or whatever, but I didn't have time to sit there and make macros for phones for 24 hours to make it do the more specific thing I wanted it to do with text replies. Like, keep my closed wall system that I never worry about security on. Do I have the capability to do more with the phone? Yes, but I don't have time. I don't care.
So yeah, September 24th. These shows are really good, and they are piling up. So I think I gotta get Apple TV. As much as I don't want to pay for another subscription, I gotta do it.
I think they're like they're where Netflix was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where they like had some good, not in terms of scope, but original content where they had some really good people pulling like higher chance things of like just more interesting. They're testing a lot of quality content. They also have a show about gamers.
And they're clearly not afraid to pour a budget. The trailer for Foundation looks, if nothing else, extremely expensive. It's a lot of pricey CGI, and I don't know, it looks really good. I'm down for it.
I'm excited. Asimov is like a big thing in technology. If you're not, you may know who he is. If you're very techie or very sci-fi, you probably know more about him, but he's responsible for the lots of robotics. He originated the term robotics, actually, I think, and There was something else that I thought was interesting. Positronic technology is this whole thing in sci-fi. He invented that. He did a lot with like bio and cyber stuff. 3 Laws of Robotics Foundation series he wrote. His books span all major categories of the Dewey Decimal Classification except for philosophy and psychology.
Interesting.
Like, he wrote mechanics, he wrote mathematics, he wrote fiction, nonfiction. Somewhere it says he wrote probably in excess of 90,000 postcards in his lifetime. Like, just
I knew
wrote
he was a really big deal in sci-fi.
all the time. He said that he thought the least crazy thing about him was that he sat in front of his electronic typewriter and wrote like a madman. But yeah, I'm excited. It's,
Seems like it's gonna be
his
good.
most popular fiction series by far.
Yep.
Cool.
Do you have anything fictional to share?
I do. I'm calling all of the fighting dreamers to come forward. And if I got a particular song stuck in your head, then this story is for you. That is because we are getting another Naruto stage play coming this December called, cleverly called, Naruto, the Story of Naruto.
I mean, if they could put out
Alright.
the Suicide Squad, then they could do
Yeah.
Naruto.
Is going to be covering the Pain Assault and 5 Kage Summit arcs from the manga. Pretty much the entire cast is returning from the previous ones. It's going to run in Japan, or in Tokyo specifically, from December 4th through the 13th. And then it will run in Osaka from December 25th until January 2nd.
Am I the only one? A lot of these seem to have very short runs. Why is that?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I think it's just the nature of what it is. It's not like Cats on Broadway kind of thing.
Oh, so there are a limited number of people that are going to see it, and those people will see it on those weekends.
Venues, I think, is a big part of. I think they have such limited space and they use it very well, but I don't think like. Yeah, I think they they rent venue kind of independently. And they sell out a run or whatever, and they're not going to get like a producer in charge of all of it who owns the theater. And
That makes sense.
they have so much content too that like.
That makes sense.
That's my guess. Like, I don't know anything, but I'm guessing.
Because also remember, this winter we also have Fist of the North Star, the musical, coming to Tokyo and Osaka as well.
Oh, sad, Jason.
So,
I can't wait. Would you even rename a porn for Fists of the North Star? Just, like, leave it exactly what it is?
Oh no, it was left
Okay,
exactly
but
the same for
the
the
North Star in this case is definitely butthole.
what was that, Jason? Hold on,
Yeah.
no, what was that?
no.
What was
Or
that?
would you call it the South Star?
Oh no, you change it from Fists of the North Star to Fisting the North Star. That's what you do.
It was actually Fist of the Brown Star.
And
You
it
don't
looked
get a
like
high five for that. She does. You
Greensdale
know.
flag.
That's a
I
good
know
one
it's
too,
not the
though.
converging of ideas. I know it's a butt.
Community.
We're adults here.
We are adults here. If you are not able to make the showing because you don't live in Japan or are poor, which I understand both of those reasons,
That's me.
then I'm just going to go out on a limb and say they're going to have a filmed production of it. That's something that Japan has been very good about in the past, is having filmed versions of their stage plays that they sell later.
Oh, so it's not a bootleg from somebody in the fourth row with
No,
the shaky cam?
nope. They also sell soundtracks for them, because I may or may not have several of the ones from the Prince of Tennis musicals.
Of course you do.
I have
Amazing.
5.
That film production thing doesn't hurt with space either, because, like, you keep Broadway runs forever, because they're not going to release the filmed one most of the time.
Yeah, and
Ever.
with these, they'll sell them because, I mean, for
They'll
that,
make more money.
oh,
selling them
they will make a lot of money off of them, and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember watching some, again, this is the Prince of Tennis ones, because that was my intro to anime musicals, but I've also seen it with Death Note and with Black Butler. they are professionally subbed as well, so they do intend to share them with audiences across the seas.
That's nice to see, and maybe like you wouldn't have to be so worried about the shaky hands kid if you're gonna sell a professional copy of it.
Exactly, and they know, especially with how big anime has gotten in America, they can get some money out of us.
That's
And
true.
they have, and they will.
We're too poor to go there,
And
but maybe can save up, $9 to buy it.
yeah, and especially with it being Naruto.
Yeah, I think
Available.
I've heard of that. I'm not a big anime person, but I feel like I've heard of that. Everybody loves the run. It doesn't even matter who you
Yeah,
are.
even if you've never watched it, you know it because pop culture has made you learn it.
Yep.
Also, Fighting Dreamers is the best opening song for the show. Fight Me. That is all. Jason, what do you have?
Fighting Dreamers is like a subtype for your character in the D&D campaign.
So, I love stunt people in Hollywood. All of them. Anisha, who did all the stunt work for Black Canary in Birds of Prey. Heidi Moneymaker, who did work for Black Widow. I love all the stunt people because they're people and they deserve awards too.
Are you about to talk about what I think you're about
I'm going to talk about one of the biggest misses out there, and that is a stunt actor who previously worked on Iron Fist decided to publicly speak about an unknown star who refused to train. It's Finn Jones. It's Finn Jones. When Finn Jones went out and said, yeah, I trained for like 2 weeks for Iron, I was like, oh, it's going to be bad. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, he had already said that he had trained for 2 weeks, 2 grueling weeks for the role of Iron Fist, which, did he know that character was a martial artist? Did he know that? Did he know that? I don't think he knew that.
He was awfully mad for somebody who's supposed to meditate all the time.
No. Ooh.
I especially love when he mansplained chi to a dojo instructor.
I was trying to get my notes up here because I kind of missed them. But anyway, he just explained that all the stunt actors on this show were working their butts off doing training every single day, making sure these scenes look good. And honestly, that was one of the worst parts of Iron Fist, is whenever he had to execute any martial arts move whatsoever. I'm sure you saw it, and I'm sure you also felt the same way. Look, there are a lot of stunt actors that work really hard to make other stars look great. We got to interview, she was Gal Gadot's stunt woman in Wonder Woman, and I can't think of her name, but I follow her on Instagram, and I love her posts because, like I said, I love my stunt people. Peter Jang, who's done a lot of stuff for Star Wars, really nice guy.
Stunt people tend to be so down to
beat
earth.
their bodies up all the time. So to hear, finally, I mean, we saw what Iron Fist devolved into.
I can't believe that Daredevil was out, and you were like, 2 weeks will be enough for my character in this universe, because Daredevil's stunts were so good,
And
their whole
they had talked.
apparent one-shot scenes and the whole nine, and you were like, 2 weeks is gonna do it.
By the time Iron Fist had come out, Daredevil had already talked about, or Chris Brewster, who is the main stunt double on Daredevil, had talked about how Charlie Cox's training, very specifically, is what allowed them to do those
Charlie
really cool
was in
shots.
the gym doing sparring and everything.
That's why it looks so cool, is the combination between Chris and Charlie and them working together and them understanding the same
meet in
physical.
the middle, as far as
And to think that what pissed me off so much about Iron Fist was when Finn Jones went out and was like, we used minimal use of stunt doubles. No, you didn't.
That is incorrect.
You're a liar.
there are very few people that I truly respect that I've ever heard say anything like that. Almost all the time they're like, our stunt people are invaluable. They do so much. They allow us to get these cool things that I would like to do but I can't, or that I can't do. And if somebody's like, we didn't use very many, I'm like, you're a liar.
You know who definitely respects stunt doubles and letting them do their work? Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah. So okay, there was
gotta
actually
run
the
his
Iron
taco
Fist.
restaurant.
Sorry, I found my note. It was it was the stunt coordinator for the show, Brett Chan. Brett Chan is super talented. Go watch his sizzle reel on YouTube. It's great. This man can do some stuff, and he can also organize a fight. So as he said, we spent 21, 22-hour days trying to make it work, and having directors say, "Ah, no." Or having Marvel say, "Oh no, everyone is fighting and the actor doesn't even want to train." It's like, guys, throw me a bone, give me something to work with here. He didn't, like I said, he didn't name a particular actor, but there was one.
We narrowed it down to the
yeah,
title
we can
character.
pretty much figure out it's Finn Jones. And this was a huge miss. Because honestly, I would have loved to see Iron Fist and Shang-Chi go at it, and then Iron Fist get his butt kicked by Shang-Chi, because that's how it would go
You're
down.
the martial artist one. Like the canon martial artist
I
would
know.
get it together.
So
I
anyway.
knew there was a reason I hated that show, and it wasn't just the writing.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
too.
when I was overseas, I think, and I never ended up watching the whole
It
thing.
was
'cause
terrible.
I tried watching
I-
bits and pieces. And
I
hated
watched
it.
part of it, and then I told you not to because
He wasn't even giving defenders. He was
No, it was terrible.
Oh yeah, Colleen Wing was awesome. I liked her. She was perfect.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we'd get a Daughters of the Dragon with her. Well, we kind of did with her and Misty.
Yeah.
So we got it a little bit.
A little.
That was a comment from the chat. But yeah, Finn Jones sucked as Danny Rand.
Terrible.
And just find someone. Give it to a stunt person. Let a stunt person do the acting. They're pretty good. So.
Yeah, and they can do their own stunts.
Exactly.
I also love that you see more.
Well, the
more
theme
than
song was cool.
direct.
Good point.
You get to see cool direct.
Yeah, that
stuff.
the theme song and the title cards for all of the Netflix shows were pretty awesome. I liked. But yeah, especially like you said, it was overshadowed so much by Daredevil. The fight scenes in Daredevil
Are amazing.
the hallway fight scenes.
Hallway, the staircase.
The second hallway fight scene in season 2, as soon as Matt Murdock grinned, I stood. I was like, "It's on! They're about to give me one," and they did.
So good.
And it didn't disappoint even after the first season had so hyped.
So incredible.
And then we saw the second season. One of my friends stunt rigged on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Look,
My
that
best
whole
friend
scene
growing up, her dad.
Yeah.
when
stunt
they were
rigged
stepping
some of
between the
episodes.
stairwells, like, "Oh, I see what you did there. You covered it up, but I appreciate it still."
So cool.
Anyway, so Finn Jones, this is
Sucks.
This is the reason this is the reason Iron Fist didn't do well, and I'm tired of complaining about people for this show. So,
She also did the tick, apparently.
Kat, you're up,
I need to.
and we
Have
need
her
to
hit
buzz
it
through
up.
everything else we got.
What?
We need to buzz through everything else we got because
Oh,
we actually
I only
shared a
have,
story. Like,
buzz through stories. Do you want to hear why? Did I already say? I don't think I said. You know why Martin Campbell doesn't do any more superhero movies after he did Green Lantern?
because
In spite of the fact that it had a budget of $200 million and managed to earn $219 million. Isn't that impressive? No? Okay. He said he's not doing more in the future because he's, quote, not really a superhero guy. And I'm like, you could have known that before you released any superhero movie. You and Tim Burton can have a club with Mark Marone of not really into comic books.
And Martin Scorsese of we don't like comic book movies.
Like, dude, you didn't have to spend $210 million to find out whether you were into comic books, but also you didn't have to tell us that you're not really that guy. Anyone who saw Green Lantern already knew.
I watched half of it. It was terrible.
I tried to watch it because I love Ryan Reynolds, but nope.
It was a real bad movie.
And then I saw Deadpool trailers and I was like, finally, the superhero he should be. Anyway, that's my throwaway.
The Witcher. So, Lauren Schmidt Hissrich, which I think is how you pronounce her name, today, Hissrich, signed a deal to, and this is a quote, write and produce new scripted series, content, and other creative projects for Netflix. She signed basically an overall deal that she's going to work with Netflix for a long time, which I thought was odd about this. This came on the same day as this is another quote, she said, we're going to need a great season 2 if we have a hope of having a season 3 of The Witcher.
And that was announced. We have not gotten announcements for season 3
We
yet.
still haven't gotten picked up. I thought it was odd that they trust her enough to make other content while also possibly not renewing one of the most watched shows Netflix has ever done.
Dude, if I was showrunning The Witcher and it had such a crazy, like, expectations to reality performance, which means, like, there were a lot of people like me who are like, I'm going to watch it, but I don't know if I'll like it. And there are a lot of people who said, I'm not going to watch it and watched it anyway. Like, it has just a weird ratio. But generally was well liked. Then if I was putting out season 2 and I was nervous, I would say exactly that. If I want this to get picked up for season 3, season 2 better do well. And keep it front of mind. That's a cynical take, but keep it front of mind. Allow people to decide if they want to, like, be petty critical of it or if they like it enough to want it to keep going. I don't know. Could just be a move. That's what I would do. But it's also not cheap to make. So
yeah. And Netflix is notorious about canceling shows, not because they're not watched, but because they have an algorithm that says that you should.
That algorithm,
looking at you, Santa Clarita Diet.
To be fair, I guess it kept suggesting that one to me, and I had no interest.
I didn't watch it.
First of all, it was amazing. It was watched, but Netflix has an algorithm that says if you cancel things after season 3, then you get more views overall, so they canceled it.
It was also positioned like it was about some housewife who was like a cannibal or something, except she wasn't a cannibal, she was a zombie. And none of it made that clear.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Go watch it. If
show.
you liked Better Off Ted, which is one of the best canceled sitcoms I've ever seen, same producer, same writer,
same writer,
some of it,
same creator.
and some of the same actors show up. It's good
Anyway.
show. Gory, gross.
Very gross.
I don't have another story, but you should play the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh my God.
Jason?
We actually we kind of picked
ahead.
a story, and
ahead.
I had also picked it because I was kind of happy about this.
Yeah.
But I'll do a 2-part story. Basically, Anthony Mackie has signed on to do Captain America 4, which you better. Come on, don't.
Please fix the fact that he can't turn his head.
In the costume.
I think
Anthony
they need
Mackie
to use
can
Captain
turn his
America
head.
4 to start moving into getting a new Avengers team
Yeah.
and how that's going to go. But speaking of adding new Avengers in there, we got the announcement today that we will be seeing Riri Williams,
A.K.A.
Ironheart, in Black Panther 2. And I see how this is going to go. They were setting up that school in the U.S. Shuri wanted to set up that school. Well, we need Riri to steal some Iron Man tech, just like she did in the comics. And then basically we can have Happy Hogan come in there like, how'd you like a job? Boom, we got our Ironheart. Let's get Don Cheadle back in there, who also stared down Kevin Hart this week. It was awesome to watch.
When
Don
you say
Cheadle's
stared
amazing.
down, you mean stared down.
No. It was a clip. They were messing around. Everyone took it way out of context, but it was beautiful.
I just meant he's short. He's taller than him, and
Everyone
Don
looks
Cheadle's
down to Kevin
not
Hart. Anyway,
taller than
I
him.
am excited. And
look
by
like
the way,
George
the actress's
Clooney.
name is what is her name? God,
I didn't write it down.
Huh?
I didn't write it down.
I don't know. Let's see.
I actually have her picture. Oh wait, I don't have it there. I had it.
I don't know, but I'm excited. Like,
It's gonna be good.
I totally messed up this show. Yeah, I dropped it because you had the story. But anyway, hold on. I am going to figure out her name because I do have an image for her, which I'm just going to put up right now on the screen because that's how we do here.
I will say, if theaters are like running and up and running,
Dominique
things are
Thorne.
good
Yeah.
when it comes out, go see it. Be a good nerd ally. If you're Cass and I were a little disappointed at how few white people showed up for that premiere for Black Panther, and it was amazing. It's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite Marvel movie the last 10 years. But there were not enough people supporting Black excellence in filmmaking there. So be a good nerd, be a good ally, go see it.
Well, I popped her picture up right over ours. There are shots of her where she has her hair in a natural, and I'm like, boom, Riri, right there.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'll go ahead and take that down. Yeah, Dominique Thorne. We've had her announcement for a while that she was going to be playing Riri Williams. I think this is a perfect setup to bring her into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah.
She could have been at that school. She's going to get that robotics and nanotechnology learning going on from Shuri. Maybe mix in a little Wakandan and... Ooh.
Well, yeah. 100% that's what you're doing.
Now, that's going to be a powerful suit.
Help you.
And then Happy Hogan just comes in on the jet and says, how'd you like to come back to Stark Tower?
Exactly.
To work on some
I'm
stuff.
excited to
Boom.
have something
And she
to
can
be
participate in-
excited about instead of just mourning.
Yeah.
For the new move, a new film to look forward to and get excited about.
I don't want to see her. Are we getting Armor Wars? I think we're getting Armor Wars before Ironheart, which I think would also be perfect to build her character up. Maybe she's helping Rhodey in the field, because Rhodey is a good pilot and everything for the suits, but he's not exactly tech-based. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's old school.
He's a warrior more than he is.
But I could see her being, her girl in the chair, and maybe making some improvements to the War Machine armor. And then on the side, just kind of, I'm just going to work on my own side project over here.
Her and Suri, BFFs on the phone, talking about how dumb.
I fully expect to see her armored up in Armor Wars at some point.
Well, yeah.
And then move into her own
I just
series.
want them to be best gal pals. Is that bad?
I do too.
Oh,
That'd
absolutely.
be so dope. Just with the attitude, and then just make it. I love seeing really techie girls on screen.
Riri is an awesome character. Seriously, she's like in the comics. They do not shy away from. She is one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe in the comics. I mean, she literally made a homemade Iron Man suit and was eating Tony's lunch, and Tony was like,
Respect.
let me write you a check. You're going to work for me now.
That's what you do if you have the checks to write, and that's why you have hacker conferences and hire them.
So I think she'll be an awesome addition. Yeah, I think her character get a lot of build up in our Armor Wars, and then moving into her own series. Somehow her just jetting in to help Rhodey on her own suit, and Rhodey's like, you built your own suit? Of course I built my own suit.
It'd be fun if she showed up and they thought it was Iron Man, or thought it was Pepper or something like that, and then oh no, surprise,
Helmet comes
new
off.
face.
Yeah.
So, there's a rumor Happy will be the Young Avengers liaison.
Really?
Interesting.
That
Would
makes
she
sense.
she would make a better Young Avenger, honestly. She's not ready for the big leagues, yeah.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking, is that a lot of they're setting up for Young Avengers.
And then these actors can grow up and eventually they'll stand in.
Yeah, but they're all low 20s at this point.
It's really
exactly.
interesting to
Yeah, I
watch
like
them
that.
take
But
Young
we'll get to see
Avengers
them grow up as Young Avengers.
Like they did the first time?
Yeah, but with the budget and everything.
Yeah.
But that's all I have this week. I'm just happy about
Yeah.
that. Some good news for Marvel instead of how we started the show down here and then moved up. So
I feel like they're starting to get me more excited about more of their things, and that's good because I felt Marvel fatigue at the end of.
I do too.
So it's nice to see. Hey, could be cool. Anybody else have any?
Nope.
Anyway,
That was all of the news.
there was
Nothing
so much
else
news.
happened at all.
That's all we have for this week.
my
Yeah.
cable management has improved.
Moderately. Jason's improved his cable management. Also, be sure to check out our website, supercoolnerdshow.com. And if you want to check us out individually, well, first of all, follow SCNS Live YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. But if you want to follow us individually, you can find me occasionally at BetterCat on Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter and Instagram, The Good Cast. Also, incidentally, I just finished playing Resident Evil 8. So I'm going to I think you did a review of it, but I'm going to do my own review. I also am playing Breath of the Wild.
It can't just be tall lady stuff. You know that, right?
She's so tall. She's so tall.
Unlimited ammo in the machine gun.
No, thank you.
Wreak havoc.
Nope.
Cora.
Go ahead.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CorodonoArt. And Suikoden related things are there, and sometimes artwork. A lot of Suikoden though.
Cool artwork, cool D&D.
D&D artwork,
D&D
character
artwork.
stuff.
It's
Fulfill
really
the
cool.
lifelong dream to have like fan art,
Absolutely
even if it's somebody
awesome.
and they can't like fan art. I'm
Loved it
so
so much.
excited.
Oh, from the chat, that was not confirmed. Happy Hogan being a liaison for
Gotcha.
Young, but it would make sense.
Oh, we wildly speculate. We don't like to separate facts from opinions and speculation. Is that bad? Jason!
You can find me at JasonTheX on Twitter and Instagram. I will be on our Twitch channel this weekend playing a little Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut.
But not
Yes.
the whole time, right? Not the whole
Not the
weekend.
whole time, not the
I
whole
don't know, maybe.
weekend, like Saturday from 8 to, doesn't
I
matter.
don't have any plans.
Doesn't matter.
Um,
Don't worry about it. And make sure to check out our D&D stream every other Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Oh, I need to make that
Saturday.
live on our YouTube channel.
I'll
I'll make it live tomorrow morning.
3 o'clock ish. We
Ish.
stream on Twitch and then we put it
We don't
on
need to
YouTube.
work on that time.
It's going great. It's been a lot of fun. And as we always like to say around here,
Keep on nerding.